So now I'm gonna explain, here's one of the ways that they maintain silence, okay? So this is this is where in this town the cops blame all the victims that get sound tortured because secretly the cops like to silence people with these groups because that's basically where it's like all or nothing with those people, where everybody groups together and has a different set of reasons for silencing their victims and shit. But then in the end, they act like it would be some acceptable thing to torture victims and shit of their entrance into dark webs and shit. So essentially, when they have a pair of speakers, those speakers have microphones and can hear what their mouth is saying. And so basically, they like to sit there and they like to fuck with you in the fucking speakers. And then, if you say they're placing audios in my speaker, then merely saying that then has them with some sort of Don Trump agency reasoning to be torturing you in speakers, as if there's some sort of magical overload of their speaker that they have to follow that has them forced to torture people into suicide. Right? That's their fucking this is the shit. This is the logic that they fucking use. Right? This is the shit. This is like where when I was a kid in the 1980s, they would sit around and justify needing to rape me so that they wouldn't get extorted. Right? I mean, this is the kind of shit that I know that these people are just fucking stupid little satanic pedophiles, okay? Because that's the kind of idea. Anything. They would have people walk up to me as a little boy and they would say, "What do they do?" And I'd be like, they stuck their penis in my butt or something like that. And then they would act like they would have to do that to me for me saying it out of my mouth. This is the kind of shit. This is where these stupid fucking people may not realize, but that one of the purposes of me doing this research is that I'm not afraid to tell people about when people that are doing NOC sit around fuck raping little kids and shit and acting like psychopaths. And see, that is where there are people, and a lot of them may be very old and not around, and 33 years later, they would be the ones that would have gone to speakers. Probably somebody would have tortured them into fucking silencing them. But that essentially there was groups of people around the United States that were somewhat monitors over the subversive clandestine NOC kind of stuff inside the country, to be monitoring them for if they delved into building blackmail mills and shit like that. Okay? So this is essentially what I'm doing in my research. This is why I do this. It's part of the purpose of me even having some of these more sophisticated profiles in the dark web. It's meant for me to whistleblow essentially on NOCs. Because invariably NOCs like to isolate themselves into a little trailer park. Then they like to find a man's child. And then they like to bitch move to the man who isn't raping their own child. And then they like to rape their child. So let me tell you about what modern NOCs do. So basically they have these guys in their 30s and 40s that are fat and dumb, act like sociopaths. They blackmail women for fun, and then they like to force their dick in their ass, and they like to slow spooge and be a psychopath. Then they spooge in their asshole. They take video of it. They post it on ClearNet's porn and shit. And then they terrorize the women into suicide. And so then they also have these 20-year-old Mormons that are all frail and skinny and shit that they do this stuff with. And they always focus on a woman that has a kid. And that then, while the fat while the fat Tea Party Ron Paul Revolution guy is sitting there. Like, yeah, they'd be the ones that watch Blaze and shit like that, and they'll smoke weed, they'll watch Blaze. That'll be a part of their little encryption, by the way. And then, while they're like raping the woman for a new black man with a whole group of guys that pay them for a moment to be blackmailing into an S&M or something like that, then upstairs, their child will be upstairs. And then all the little skinny, weird, little fucking frail, little weird Mormons that are like 20 years old and shit, they'll go upstairs and they'll start basically raping the little kid. And so these are people that basically were operating as NOCs in Donald Trump's agency worked. And that they were allowed to operate with impunity because essentially they were orchestrating all the voting hacks and all the extortions and shit for his election in 2016, and in return nobody would do anything about what they were involved with. And see, they used that little aspect to literally terrorize anybody that would speak about them. And so then that whole time, I just sat there speaking about all of them. I sat there explaining every kind of little aspect of what they do, just to completely defy and to show how powerless they are to do anything about me. See, I like to shove in their face how being a man makes them powerless. I like to literally sit here as a person that never hacks, a person with no blackmails, a person with an upstanding moral character, just sitting here, doing their tech psycho shit, right at their fucking face. And I love to build their little stupid little fucking fuck brain up. And I like to mold their brain around. And I like to make them dumb and dumb and dumb. Because TEA NOCs are dumb. So hopefully they'll hear that or something. And then they'll just act dumb all the time. And then I like to go, yeah, you guys want to be in modern intelligence? Tea Party is dumb.